23. Alright, we'll go live here in a minute. Oh, come on.
Check clear.
See if this works. Alright, I got audio there. You got audio?
Alright.
Hey guys, AJ Town here live with the T-Storm Chasers, bringing on Braden with us. Braden is going to be a new forecaster with us, going to be working closely with us, giving us some detailed information and everything like that. Sorry about all the glitches. Sorry about all the technical issues, but we know the joys of doing live cast, how that does happen, and will always continue to happen. So, Braden, you with me?
Yep, I am here.
All right, we got Braden with us. Say hi, Braden.
How's it going, everybody?
All right, we're going to jump into things here. We are looking at the national European map. So we are watching a couple different things. That's the reason why we're bringing Braden on with us, too. We are watching the chance of some severe weather pushing through the area. We're also watching the chance of seeing some winter weather pushing through the area. Just as we thought things were starting to get over with that, we are seeing things change there and everything as well. So, as we are going to jump into this, Braden is down in Elk Point helping us out. So, he's joining us remotely here with us. As we do put the map into motion here, we are kind of watching the system that is going to be coming off of the eastern or western portions there. California, that low pressure system is really what's going to get things to fire up and get going, and really see that chance of some severe weather out in front of this low pressure system. And it's actually going to bring us, speaking of that, the Storm Prediction Center's already put out a, oh, come on, help me think of that word, Braden. Has already put an outlook out. There we go. There we go. Has put an outlook out already.
30%?
Yeah, 30%, but we'll jump into that in just a minute. Nope, we are looking at that outlook already of seeing some severe weather. Good news is, though, that is not really for the Sioux Falls area. Bad news for us, good news for the public. As we do put the map into motion, we'll watch that low pressure system move across the Rockies. As that does continue to move across the Rockies, that's where it's going to regenerate some of its strength and bring us that chance on Thursday into Friday of seeing some of that severe weather pushing through the area. then as we do continue into Friday there, we do have, unfortunately, folks, a chance of seeing some winter storms pushing through, and also, again, so that severe weather is going to be on the front side of it. You can see, though, folks, this is a blue spot, so that is indicating that stronger area there of seeing some snow system pushing through with that. Bad news, too, folks, as we go into the rest of the weekend here. We aren't seeing anything for the rest of the weekend, but we're watching, unfortunately, another system that's going to be pushing through. As that does take effect there on Monday, Sunday into Monday, that is going to stay on the northern portions of South Dakota. Then as we get into the middle of next week, that's when we're watching that next system. You can see it there on that map of another snow system pushing through the area. Now, these models have been pretty consistent, so that's why Braden and I have been working together, kind of watching these closely and kind of discussing it and everything as well. So then as we put the map into motion there on Tuesday is what we are going to see that system push through of next week is what we are watching. Now, this is also over 200 hours out, so we do expect to see some things change. The models will shift and bring us some different probability. Unfortunately, folks, you can see that the European model is bringing us another winter storm there Tuesday, Wednesday of next week that we have to keep that close eye on. But again, we're over 200 hours plus out, so definitely something to watch very closely. Let's go back home. Let's get in a little closer here. Now, this is kind of where Braden will jump in as well here. Now, as we get into this area here, now this is about where we're looking at that severe weather risk is going to be as this low pressure system starts to move across the area. We do see some chances right through here. A little further south is what we are watching too. Now, the Storm Prediction Center is putting right about this area. Is that correct, Braden, as far as that severe weather risk?
Yeah. That 30% includes most of Illinois and eastern Iowa, like southeastern Iowa, and most of Missouri as well. And so it pushes that 15% out towards Des Moines. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some action in there, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we see some action farther west as well.
So I did put that Storm Prediction Center map up here that Braden is discussing and kind of talking about. Now, what day is this that we're discussing and kind of looking at this?
Thursday and Friday. It's more Friday event, but stuff could happen overnight, Thursday into Friday.
All right, so that's kind of what we're seeing is it's more of a Thursday Friday system. So definitely something to keep in mind. I know we're talking about out of our area, our coverage area, like really not really out of our coverage area, but it's almost out of 100% out of our area. But we know that we have a lot of followers that have friends, family, and stuff that live in this area there in the orange. That's one reason why we're discussing it and kind of bringing it to your attention. So, but as again, Braden mentioned there, that area there is going to be in a Thursday into Friday event that we are watching closely as far as this is moving into the area. Now, let's go ahead and zoom back in here. Let's talk about this here. And we'll put that map into motion. We do see that chance of some mixed precipitation pushing through the area there on Friday morning. Now, this is about 7 o'clock in the morning, so just in time for your commute. And then lunch there is what we are seeing as well. We lost Braden's camera there for a minute.
Yeah, it kind of fell down. I don't know why it fell down. It fell down.
There Friday at evening as your commute to home there, we are seeing that chance of snow, heavier bands of snow there Friday evening, about that 00 Zulu. So about that 6-7 o'clock time frame is what we are looking at. That'll push out of the area is the good news on that one. Then as we go into Monday, that's when we're watching that next system is Monday into Tuesday. Now, this is going to be more of a snow system. I don't think that severe weather risk exists for that day. So that is the good news there. Right now, it appears the snow system is staying north of the I-90 corridor. So definitely something to take kind of with that grain of salt. is going to be Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. Not this week. Next week is what we are watching. But again, as I did mention, these models are about 200 hours plus out. We do expect to see things change, and we do expect to see things kind of reiterate. Now, this is what Braden and I were talking about, is the severe weather risk that we're watching here Thursday into Friday. Now, this is Thursday late evening, overnight hours is what we are seeing with this one. Now, this is the European model. I'm not too favoritized with the European model for severe weather risk, but I am more favoritized with that snow system. That's been more of a dominant with that versus the GFS. So, Braden, as he did mention before, that severe weather risk, that is going to push off to the east and really impacting that I-35 corridor, I-80 corridor is kind of what we're watching there as it does continue to progress eastward. And then also does, I think, too, this is keeping this a little further northward than what I think is really going to impact that area with this system as we go into 18 Zulu time frame. And then as we come in that 00 Zulu, right there along, again, that I-90 south, I-80 corridor over in Illinois and over in Iowa, there is kind of what we are seeing with that severe risk coming into Friday evening. Really is what we're watching very closely as well.
And just to add on to that, I read the Outlook text for that 30%, and they were saying that the northern part of the system was going to turn more linear. So what that means is pretty much is it's favorable for supercells instead of like a big squall line. So a big line of storms. So more tornado chances up north than down south.
Yeah.
So if you have any friends or family down there, let them know. Just be weather aware, everything like that.
Right, and that's what our goal is with this, is to get everybody weather aware of this event that's coming through. I know some of our followers travel for a living too. This will definitely impact that area as well as they are traveling. Definitely some severe weather risk. You can see just this area here. Let me change my colors here. If we go to blue, you can see that area there that is hatched, and I'm on the wrong screen slide. But if you look at that screen there that is hatched there of that white areas there, that's where we're going to see that strongest probability of seeing that severe weather come Thursday into Friday, mostly Friday for this area out west or eastward. So, again, as I mentioned here,
and also,
go ahead.
Can I add on here that I saw earlier there was somebody in the chat that said, why can't we focus on our own area? The only reason we're talking about this is because they're model runs, and model runs can push wherever they want. So that 30% could easily be over us tomorrow. So, and also it depends on the temperatures as well. It depends on where this frontal boundary actually sets up and where all this stuff actually does play out, because if it plays out more west, it'll play out over us and we will have a chance of severe weather. As I've been looking at model runs for the past couple of days, and it's been consistent on our southern counties getting at least 70-degree weather on Friday. So that would be favorable for severe weather instead of snow. So that's just one of the reasons we are talking about this. And there's just a possibility, Weather's all about possibilities, and this is just one of the possibilities that's on the table.
Right. We did have a comment as well in the chat that you are a little hard to hear. I did turn your mic up quite a bit, so hopefully maybe that would help as well. That might be a little better.
Yeah, because I had my brother was yelling earlier, so I turned my mic down a little bit so you didn't hear him. So
yeah. So as we are talking about this, let's go back to that bigger map here, and this is what we're talking about, right? right here is this low pressure system that's what Braden was talking about, is that low pressure system. If that shifts a little more northward, we're going to see the chances of that severe weather shift a little more northward. We also do realize too, as we continue to grow, that our follower base is continuing to grow. So that's why we're kind of touching on more of the upper Midwest region. It's kind of what we're ultimately going to be looking at a little more with that as well. But again, as we take a look at that severe weather risk, you know that severe weather risk there for Thursday into Friday, if we measure that out, even down to, within that red, it's only 120 miles to the south of the Sioux Falls area as the crow flies. So it's not going to take much of a shift northward to be able to really impact much of our viewing area there. Keep in mind, too, our viewing area is about 150-mile radius around the Sioux Falls area. So that does include that Omaha area, that area there as well, that is in that severe risk come Thursday into Friday. So, definitely the system that we're watching is right there, is that system as well. So one thing, too, that we are looking at, and Braden and I were talking about this before we started, is we're looking at temps on Thursday afternoon going to be in the upper 50s to lower 60s to upper 40s in some areas. There's that cut of that line as well. And as we go to the next slide, just watch how quick these temps drop. Overnight, we're looking at temps that are really, with that cold front coming through, it's really going to drop those temps. But watch how quick on Friday that warms back up. That warms up quite quickly there as far as temps are concerned down into the Missouri and southern portions of Iowa, even eastern portions of Iowa as well. We are seeing that those things do definitely warm up quite a bit as well. So again, we are looking at some decent warmth coming through the area for the rest of the week here. Speaking of that, let's take a quick look at your 7-day. I know I'm kind of jumping around here. Where's my 7-day? There it is. As we take a look at your 7-day, you could see just how much those temps are fluctuating. It's doing that that roller coaster effect there, where Monday, Tuesday, it's warming up Tuesday a little, dropping a little on Wednesday, warming back up on Thursday, dropping Friday as that snow and chance of severe weather pushes through the area. Then back up a little on Saturday and back up to the upper 50s on Sunday. So we are doing this roller coaster effect. This time of year, though, folks, it's average temp this time of year is right around that 55, 60 degree mark for this time of year. So we are below average for this time of year as we start to jump into that. Now, one thing, too, that we are looking at, let's jump over to this one. Now, this is, again, I kind of started right away, right on the bat of this low pressure system. As Tony was questioning there, as far as that severe weather risk chances and stuff, look at the GFS. The GFS pushes that a little further northward, that low pressure system. And that's where Braden was talking about, that low pressure system. Where that's going to set up exactly is going to really determine on our severe weather risk coming into Thursday into Friday. Now this is, we'll jump back here. We're going to start on the day on Thursday, and Braden can kind of touch on this too here, is that as that comes, whoops. So the GFS has this coming through later, as far as what the European model doesn't. It's starting about that 00 Zulu. So that's about that 7 o'clock time frame. Now again, that GFS pushes that a little further northward and showing it more of a rain system than of a snow system for us. So it's really going to depend on those temps and everything. And then again, we watch this low pressure system that's coming through the Nebraska panhandle there and grabbing all that moisture that's out there coming into Friday. So this is where Braden was kind of discussing as far as things shifting. If the models hold true for the GFS, we're going to see a possibility of some severe weather pushing through. If it holds true to the European model, that's going to shift more of that easterly track. Braden, if you want to touch on this just for real quick on this low pressure system here.
Well, I also wanted to touch on, I've been looking at the National Weather Service blend of models, and for about that time frame that we're looking at right there, there's convective available potential energy, and that's one of the things we need for severe weather. And all of the models are agreeing with CAPE values over 1,000 joules per kilogram. And what that means is basically we have enough fuel to support severe storms. So we're just going to have to watch that. If this does push north, like we might possibly think at this moment, then it will cause maybe some severe weather. And even if it pushes south, it'll cause us some snow. And it's all just about the timing and where this happens. And that's why weather is so hard to predict as well, because we've been looking at these models for how long, AJ?
I would say at least the past couple days. I think I let our team know that we are starting to watch the probability of some severe weather. A little further south to the Omaha area is what we were kind of watching. I think that was just a couple days ago that I was letting the team know. So, at least the last 3 days, I know for sure that we've been kind of watching that fairly close here over the last 3 days. If unfortunately, I have it on my phone. I don't have it on the computer. But the last model run actually had just south of basically the Sioux City area under the gun for that severe weather threat. And it was a pretty dominant severe weather threat with that as well. And that's kind of what we're seeing with this GFS? Model with it as well. So, yeah, we're going to continue here. On the backside of this low pressure system as it pushes out of the area, that's where we're going to see that snow system come in on Friday that we are watching there as well. Now, as we go into, again, the rest of the week there, we're not seeing much more precipitation through the weekend. And then start of next week is where we're starting to see that next snowstorm system is coming Tuesday into Wednesday. The GFS is also showing that system as well, as those of you that were watching earlier saw the European model suggesting this as well. So are we getting it? Possibility. But it doesn't have the probability of it. I'm not confident that we are going to see the snow system push through. I'm not talking snow totals because it's so far out. If we started talking snow totals, dude, some of you would be like, "Oh, I'm out of here. We're going south. I'm done."
Yeah, because that does look like, if that does happen, that's a snowmaker and a half.
Right, yeah. But
people would be ticked off because I mean, how much snow has Sioux Falls gotten this year?
I think it was plus 70 plus. 70 plus inches, if I remember right, running off of that. The other thing, too, that we got to remember is further down south has, no snow. I was down south for the weekend here. As far south as Norfolk, Nebraska area has no snow whatsoever. Even down in the Vermilion area really didn't have much snow either. So, that's snow. Well, there you go, and you're in Elk Point. So, that's really going to play a factor in the severe weather risk and probability of what we're going to be watching here.
You get daytime heating.
Yeah. Actually, now we get that extra hour of daytime heating.
Yeah.
As we now, this is Braden's favorite part of it. We are looking at the Supercell composite here.
My favorite. I love this.
I will get this. Why is this not? There it goes. I'll let you handle this, and I'll handle the mouse. Okay.
Okay, so what time is that? What time are we looking at right there?
This is 15
I can't see
Zulu.
it.
Give me a second here.
So 15 Zulu, I'm looking at it on my end as well. 15 Zulu, we're at a supercell composite of, drum roll, we are at a supercell composite of 9 down south. So if that pushes north, we have, it's a 9 out of, I think it's a 24 scale. Or no, it's not a 24 scale, it's a 46 scale. But
It's a 46.
I've never seen a number over 20.
So what is
maybe
the
seen a 22.
supercell composite? Kind of explain that
Supercell composite?
to our people that kind of don't understand our geek
Okay.
geek weather terms.
Well, supercell composite is just basically what the model is looking at is pretty much all of your elements that you need for a supercell onto one model run and then putting it into a formula, then spitting a number out on a graph. So like say I have all the ingredients that I need for a supercell and I have a lot of it. So I'm going to have strong supercells. So I'm going to plot a number higher on the chart. So the higher you go on the chart to 46, the more of a chance you have for a supercell. And so this sees the GFS one sees 384 hours out, but I wouldn't look past GFS past 96 hours and be confident in it. So we're right at that threshold, that borderline where we're seeing this 9 or 10 on the supercell composite. And so we just got to keep watching it because it could push south, it could push north, it could go away entirely. What we want to see right now is an agreement within all of our energy that we need for supercells. If you're a weather lover, this is what you want. You want the cape, you want shear, you want all those things so you could get storms. So we have to watch for that, and basically the supercell composite does all of that and then puts it on a graph.
So it does push it up almost right along that South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska border there. So we are definitely seeing that possibility. Now this is at 15 Zulu, so that'd be roughly 15 minus 5, so that'd be roughly 10, 11 o'clock in the morning is what we are looking at this probability pushing through here. It jumped on me there. And then as we go into that
to me.
As we go into that 18 Zulu time frame there, we are seeing the higher probability pushing into that Des Moines area as it does continue to progress its way eastward, and then into eastern Illinois and eastern Iowa and western Illinois there as well. It still is pretty high as it moves across that area as well. One thing a lot of you are asking is snow totals. I'll touch quickly on snow totals simply because I'm not a fan of doing snow totals quite this far out. Now remember, take this with a grain of salt. Thursday into Friday. So this is Saturday at 00 Zulu. So that would be roughly Friday night. About 5 to 7 inches is what this model is suggesting on the backside of this system. So,
if you're taking a look at snow totals, look at ice because it's going to rain before that as well.
Good point. Let's look at run total ice accumulation real quick.
Totals for north is 1/4 of an inch over towards the Watertown area. That's what GFS is pulling up. That is also actually no, that is right around that time.
So if we do look at that same time frame as far as ice accumulation, we're right around that 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch Yankton area there, just north of the Yankton area, is a little higher as well.
You can make nobody happy when I'm talking about snow totals because there's going to be somebody that wants more, and there's going to be someone that wants none. It's my rule of thumb.
So you are just talking snow again, not tornadoes concerning the supercells. Well, the supercells do have that capability of producing. I'm not confident on it being that point yet to where we will see the tornado activity. We're not at that right time frame with this system. Now, is it possible? Yes, it's possible. We definitely could see something come into play there, but my confidence my confidence isn't high. I would say on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd be right around that 1, maybe even a quarter of a 1, or maybe I'm sorry, 3/4 of a 1. I'm not really too confident that we're going to see that tornadic activity. But as we go through if we go 240 hours out, we're at that 7 to 9 inch mark for the Sioux Falls area. Again, but a lot of this is going to fall and melt. So that's going to be, the one nice factor with this that's going to be coming through as well. As we are speaking on lookouts, let's take a quick look at our precipitation outlook for April 4th to the 10th. First part of April, we are looking at leaning towards the above average for this time of year of precipitation, which we could see that, in the form of snow. We could see that in the form of rain. So definitely something that we are going to have to keep a close eye on. Unfortunately, folks, we're not going to see that warm up. That 4th to the 10th, we're at the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. Now, this is not something that Braden and I put together. This is actually put together by the folks down in Norman, Oklahoma at the Storm Prediction Center. This one is leaning towards the below normal for this time of year. And you can see down in Florida, though, is right above that normal for this time of year.
Lucky.
Yeah, we want that warmer weather. So, again, as we jump into... Now, this is actually Thursday is what that severe weather risk area there for that 15%. That's not as high as what we are looking at for Friday. Let me find my Friday slide here real quick. Want to just reiterate this before Braden and I jumps off of here is, that eastern Iowa, western Illinois, down into the Missouri, Arkansas area there is going to be under the gun. For the first time for eastern Iowa, western Illinois area there I do believe they've actually had a couple spin-ups in Illinois not too long ago.
They had a wedge in Iowa on a thunderstorm risk day at the beginning of the year. Did you see that?
Yeah. Like I said, they've had a couple incidences, but nothing real dominant like what they are setting up right now for this system. So definitely something to keep an eye on. As Braden mentioned before, it's not going to take much of a shift. Literally, not much of a shift north or back westward to really start impacting us. So definitely something we're going to have to keep a close eye on. But that's about what I have. Do you have anything else, Braden?
One more comment in the chat. Should we be worried? No, don't be worried. Just be weather aware.
We definitely don't want to be worried with the system as far as, the severe side of it. We're just kind of alerting you guys and saying, hey, there's a probability that we're going to have that. But we also then on the flip side of it, we do want to make you guys aware of seeing that snow system push in through the area. Roughly right now, as it sits, we're looking at that 5 to 7 inch mark. What's really going to play a factor is those temps as we get into get closer there and really start seeing those temps come through the area as well. So that's what I have. Braden has everything that he had. So we want to appreciate everybody for joining us. Thank you, guys. This is something that we're going to start doing a little more. I got another forecaster too that will be joining us off and on as well. So we're going to start double teaming these forecasts together and kind of discussing things. So thanks, guys, for joining us. We might even triple team you. Have a good